What's going on? So I'm having to re-upload this video. So that's why, if you're wondering if you've seen it, yes, you have. So that's number one. And as I'm having to do that, I'm cutting this into the beginning just as a general update. Currently, I am in talks and working with Palmetto State Armory on figuring out what is wrong with my Dagger. Right now, it doesn't seem to be a mass problem. So you don't necessarily have to be freaking out over this, thinking that if you get a Dagger, it's going to have this problem. As far as we know, as of right now, there's only been just my firearm they've been contacted about the pin walking. But I just wanted to put that little information in the beginning of this video as an update, as I'm having to re-upload it. Feel free to comment below. I try to respond to as many comments as I can. If you're not necessarily wanting to hear my opinion of the Dagger and you just want to see the shooting part, you can scroll forward. I think it's probably about 13 minutes into 14 minutes into the video, something like that, is the shooting portion of this video. So like I said, thanks for watching. It's going to continue into my little review that I did. And like I said, it's my first review of a gun, and it was done on the hood of the tractor at our farm. So that's why the camera angle is not very good. It was kind of just what I could make work. So thanks for watching. Let's go ahead and get into that review, which is outdated information, because this is the information as of now. We're working on it. So thanks for watching, and go to the end and subscribe if you want. If not, it's cool, but stop. Thanks for stopping by. All right, what is going on? So if you saw my unboxing video, this video is going to be the shooting portion on my PSA Dagger 9, the pistol that I purchased and waited 9 months for. And I will say right off the bat, my initial impressions, I'm going to set it down here. So my initial impressions are good. For the most part, I'm happy with the way it shoots, the way it feels, the overall workmanship of it. I'm happy, but there are a few issues, and I'm gonna have to reach out to PSA and see what they're gonna do about it. I've made my notes, which I'll go over, but I'm gonna put all the shooting at the end of this video after I'm done talking, and you can go and look and see. But basically what I did was, we took the handgun, me and my uncle, and we ran 300 rounds of steel cased Monarch ammo through it. And in that 300 rounds, I only had one failure to eject. And I don't know if that was gun related, magazine related, or ammo related. I'm not going to necessarily say that it was gun related, because it was only one out of the 300 rounds that we fired. Did 315 total. The first 15 rounds I cycled through it were brass, but the next 300 were all the steel cased, lacquer coated, cheap stuff you get at Academy. But I had the one failure to eject, and I'm not sure exactly what it is. I'm gonna have to go back and kind of look at the footage and see if I can tell. I did film it, but it had a problem when you would load the magazine and load it into the gun. You go to pull back on the slide and let it ride home, and it would not ride home. It was jamming up on the magazine. You could not. The first 2 times, after the second or third let go, it was fine. The third time it did it to us, it was not moving. It would not cycle at all. The only way to get it to cycle was off of the slide release. So that's a quirky issue. I don't know what's going on there. I'll reach out. When I reach out to him, I'll ask him about that one. But the main problem that we experienced today, and I don't know, it'd be interesting to see other videos, other people shooting, if they have this exact same problem or not. But after the first 75 rounds were put through the gun, I haven't even pushed it in yet from the last 10 rounds that I fired. But after the first 75 rounds, my trigger pin started walking out. As you can see, it's protruding out. And it's very strange because you push it in and there's an audible hard click of it seating on the trigger. But after that first 75 rounds, anywhere from round 15 to round 30, that pin would walk out and we would have to stop, push it back in, and then we could continue shooting. So I don't know, that's the main problem. That is really the only complaint problem I would say that's kind of an issue right now. You know, the slide, you know, not racking when there was a round in there, that one was kind of, you know, that's one of those that I don't know if maybe it needs to be oiled. I don't know, but I mean, 300 rounds through it, it shouldn't have been an oiling issue that early. But like I said, I don't know if it's just that the slide release itself was gummed up. I'll have to, I mean, I'll break it down here in a minute, but I don't know what's going on with that. So that's a problem. The pros, I will say, the pistol is very light compared to like my 320 and some of the other handguns that I've used. Of course, you know, like the Beretta, it's of course all metal, and it's very well balanced. My hands aren't extremely large, but my uncle has large hands, and even he said it fit his large hands pretty well. It felt comfortable in his hands. It felt comfortable in my hands. We both liked the positive finger groove in the front. It made it real easy to find and place your finger on the trigger guard. This was smooth too. This is nice. The undercut and the recoil is very smooth. It's a real. It's hard to. I mean, to me, it was very easy for follow-up shots to get on target quick because for as light as the pistol was, the recoil was very, very manageable. As for the cons, it's basically one con that we could really, between the two of us, we could really come up with, and that was just the blockiness of the mag release. If the mag release was maybe a little more rounded, it would be a little bit better, you know, because I was shooting 5 rounds at a time, just so that way I could cycle everything as much as possible. And over time, it did get kind of tedious, and it kind of wore on your thumb, constantly hitting these sharp edges to eject the magazine. So my only con is, like I said, just the bulky mag release. That's my one con. I will say the trigger, when I first got it out of the box, was very, very gritty. Like bad. I'm pretty sure that my little Taurus PT111 was a better trigger out of the box. But I will say, after putting the 300 rounds through it, the trigger smoothed out a lot. You can feel a difference. The brake before was very laggy. It had a lot of drag. So you'd get to the brake point and you'd try to take up that slack in the brake, and the trigger would almost like jerk, and then it would break. All that did vanish after the 300 rounds, and now it's very smooth. I'll be interested to see when I take it all apart and look at it and see if the metal's worn in. But I will say the trigger, which was a concern to me after the 300 rounds through it, seemed to have worked its way out, and it's much, much better. I don't really think I feel the need to change the trigger like I originally was thinking after getting it broken in. Now, I don't know if the trigger itself has to do with the pin walking. That I'm not sure. I'm not too inclined with Glocks and how they work, but that'll be something that's going to need to be addressed by PSA and see what they have to say about it. So I'm going to have to reach out to customer service that way, which is probably going to be a headache, but I'm going to go ahead and roll in my footage of shooting, so that way you can stop the video here, or if you want to see the shooting, you can see it. We did some slow shooting. I did a few rapid fires, and like I said, for the actual shooting portion, the shooting part of the gun was pretty smooth, and I'd have to say I'm happy with that. It's just these issues here with the trigger pin and interesting issue with the slide. I don't know, I did get it on video. There is quite a bit of play in the slide. It moved, I mean, the side to side movement, and when you are pulling the trigger, the slide does move a lot. I don't know if that movement was having anything to do with the slide functioning at those particular times, but all I can do is continue to shoot it and see if it works itself out. But after once the trigger pin started walking, it got to where literally every 15 rounds towards the end, the trigger pin was popping out, and pretty much after it got to this point, within 2 or 3 rounds, it would come out about almost a 1/4 inch, and we'd have to reseat it. So that's the only real issue. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna throw in all the shooting footage, all the problems, and you can watch it. And if you have any questions, I can try to answer them down below. If you don't have a Dagger, or if you do have a Dagger, I'd like to know if you're having the same problems. I will say, I saw somebody say they were having problems cycling hollow points. I ran 5 hollow points through there and I didn't have any issues with them. So maybe it was just a gun specific issue or a magazine issue. I'm not sure. But if you have one and you've shot it and you have issues, post them down below and let me know what your experiences is with it. But other than that, thanks for watching, and I'm gonna go ahead and roll in all the footage of shooting. And like I said, any questions, post them down below. I will definitely try to make a follow-up video whenever I hear from PSA on these issues and what they want me to do. And hopefully we can get it worked out. And because other than that, I mean, I'd like to be able to throw this into my carry rotation, but I don't want to carry a gun that I have to worry about the trigger pin walking out. So let me contact them and see what they'll do to fix it. But these are all quirks that are gonna have to be worked out, because as of right now, we're the testers. They have only done in-house testing as far as I know. So I just want to thank you for stopping by. Hope you enjoy me blowing all this ammo today. And comment down below if you have any questions. Thanks for watching. All right. This is the first shot out of my PSA Dagger 9. For a majority of the test of the Dagger, I will be running some cheap Monarch steel cased ammo through it. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we're 70 rounds into the break-in and test, and we already have an issue. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip the camera around and show you what's going on. 75 rounds in, and the trigger, 70 rounds in, and the trigger pin is walking out. So that's the first issue so far. We'll we'll keep on going and see what happens from here. I'm gonna push it back in and continue the testing. Alright, I've pushed the trigger pin back in. We'll continue again. I'm just doing 5 rounds at a time and got 2 magazines out here, so let's see what else can go wrong. So 15 rounds since I pushed the pin back in, and it's starting to walk its way back out. Other than that, so far everything's functioned right. That seems to be the only problem as of right now. Alright, so I am a little over 180 rounds or so in, and the trigger pin has consistently been coming out between 15 and 30 rounds. This is how much it's walked in 10 rounds. The last 10 rounds, we pushed it back in, we fired 10 rounds. I got 10 more rounds loaded up, 5 and 5. I'm gonna shoot, and I will show you exactly how much it's moved in those 10 rounds. A lot of movement in those last 10 rounds. So I'm gonna finish off this box, and that'll put us at 215 in, and we'll probably keep on going. But as of right now, that so far has been the only problem that we've had. I've had no malfunctions, no misfires, no failure to ejects, and even with this cheap ammo, I haven't even had a light primer strike. It's made every single shell go boom. So I'm gonna keep on going. Another 5. Let's see how much it moves again. Do a little rapid one on this one. About to the point where we got to push it back in. I don't know what's going on because you can hear it audibly click in. It's locking in, but it's just walking out. So that one only took 20 rounds total to walk out that much. So keep on going.
Actually didn't really even move.
Yeah, it didn't really move that time. No walk that time. All right, so I don't know how many rounds we're into this. 2, 10, about 225 rounds in. And we've had our first malfunction. Could be ammo related, so I'm not really gonna harp on that too bad, but just want to show you 225-ish rounds in, first malfunction. So pin's still walking, but I just want to see. I'm gonna run 5 rounds of hollow points, and we're just gonna see if the gun will feed it. I've heard some other people say they've had issues cycling and feeding hollow points. So I believe these are, what are these, Monarch? Just like this?
I think so. If I remember right, I think they were.
I don't know. It's hollow points. Let's see if it feeds it fine. It fed it fine so far. So
walk quite a bit again.
Yep. Push that back in and almost through this box, so, and then keep on going. All right, I'm gonna try my best to show you on camera. This is 240 round check-in and starting to develop a slight issue. I'm gonna set the phone down because my cameraman has just walked off. But the problem I'm having, let me turn the slide around, the camera around. The slide is starting to hang up. It's kind of hard to tell, but let me set the phone down here. So you can see it will not drop the slide. See if I cycle the slide release, but that works. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe here in just a little bit, I'll pull everything apart and look and see in the inside, see if anything looks out of whack, out of spec. But that's another problem that has developed, and not even at 300 rounds yet. So let's let me go through these 5 rounds and I'll check in when I find the next issue. Another interesting thing I've noticed is how much slack and play is in the slide. I mean, it's got quite a bit of movement in there. Now, I've never shot, I don't own any Glocks, so I don't know if this is normal for Glocks, but also, when you pull the trigger, as you can see, it's empty, there's no magazine. When you pull the trigger, the slide has quite a bit of movement. Hopefully that comes up on camera. That's a lot of play. I'll try to get the back of the gun so you can see a little bit better. There it is, right there. I don't know if that's coming out on camera or not. But yeah, there's a lot of play in that slide for some reason. Not exactly sure why. It doesn't seem to affect anything for shooting wise, because I mean it's pretty accurate, but that's just an interesting side note I wanted to make note